Class, today we're going to talk about the principles of design. Everybody say, principles of design.
Principles of design.
Very good. The principles of design that you're going to learn today will help you understand print layout in a way that you've never understood it before. In fact, designers often use the principles of design to tell a story. So, there are 5 principles of design that we're going to learn today. The first principle of design we'll learn about is called balance. Everybody say balance.
Balance.
Okay, with balance, I want you to go back in your minds to the days of elementary school. You have to go back to elementary school because I don't believe that parks or playgrounds have this device on them anymore. Do you remember the teeter-totter?
Yes.
Oh, yes, right? Remember that it was really fun when you had somebody of equal weight on the opposite side. It was fun. When you had somebody smaller or larger on the other side, it was not fun. You were either stuck in the up position or in the down position. Remember that? Yeah, those were sad days. Okay, there was a way to remedy that, though. Do you remember when you were on there, you could put like 2 small kids, 2 or 3 kindergartners on one side, and you're a 3rd grader? I don't know why you were playing with the kindergartners when you were in 3rd grade. But it would balance when you do that, right? Okay, the same way works with the principle of design called balance. We have 2 kinds of balance. The first one is called formal balance. Everybody say formal balance.
Formal balance.
Okay, formal balance is the teeter-totter game where you had the same weight of somebody on the opposite side of you. So, in the context of these movie posters, we're going to look for a poster that has like symmetry. It will have symmetry. Can you identify a poster up there that has symmetry? Chris? Right, yes, and if you look at this, everything's pretty well centered. You've got a little bit more light colored weight over here, but a little more dark colored here, and so they tend to offset each other. But that is about the most formally balanced poster we have up there. Okay? Now, on the converse, we have what's called informal balance. Everybody say informal balance.
Informal balance.
Okay, an informal balance is where you've got more weight on one side visually than you have on the other. It's not symmetrical. Yes, Torin? Exactly like the Mad Max poster. If you draw a line down the center of Mad Max poster, everything seems to be on the one side. It doesn't feel awkward at all because you've got action happening over here, you've got a contrasting color over here. It's just not the same on both sides. Does that make sense to you, the difference between formal and informal balance? Okay, so one more time, the key to balance, to determine what kind of balance is being used, is whether it's symmetrical or not. Formal balance uses symmetry. Informal balance does not. Cool? All right, what questions are there on balance? Yes? Every layout is balanced in some way or another. It's either formal balance or informal balance. Good question. The next principle of design we're going to talk about today is called contrast. Everybody say contrast.
Contrast.
Very good. Contrast has to do with a lot of things. We can contrast or compare size. We can contrast or compare color. We can contrast or compare lights and darks. We can contrast or compare all kinds of properties about a thing. In fact, let me take your mind to the Apple commercials. You're familiar with the old I'm a Mac, I'm a PC commercials, right? You've got dude on one side with jeans and a t-shirt on, and he's the Mac, right? Okay, then you got over here the dude in a brown suit, wearing big Coke bottle glasses, kind of slumps a little bit, and he's a PC. Is that contrast? Absolutely. Which one's more fun? Apple's more fun. Cool. That's my plug for Apple. I like it. Okay, so we can contrast all sorts of things. If you look at these posters up here, identify for me an example of contrast. Greg. Avatar, what's the contrast here? Okay, we've got a Navi and a human, right? They're different, absolutely. So very good, that's contrast. That's contrasting in color. We've got contrasting in the actual properties of the elements that are being used in the design. All kinds of contrast. So everybody say contrast.
Contrast.
Very good. All right, the next principle of design we're going to talk about today is called unity. Everybody say unity.
Unity.
Okay, unity has to do with everything being part of a big family, right? Now, it wouldn't make much sense, I think. Let's take the poster for Inside Out. If I were to take I don't know, somebody name a famous person. Johnny Depp. Okay, if I take Johnny Depp and put his face right here, does that work? No, it does not work. And the reason is because Johnny Depp's face is not related to the rest of the poster. Does that make sense? The rest of the layout doesn't have anything to do with Johnny Depp. If you saw Johnny Depp's face, you might go, oh, why is Johnny Depp's face in that poster? There's no reason to do that. Okay? Now, if I were to take a photograph of, I just watched this movie. Help me out here. Joy. No. Riley. Yes. If I were to take Riley and put her face right there, does that work? No. Why? Because it's about what's inside Riley's head. It's not, Riley's head's not inside Riley's head. Does that make sense? Everything in a layout has to work together to communicate a message. Has to work together. And if it doesn't communicate the message, then it's distracting to the observer, distracting to the reader. Cool? So one big happy family. Things have to work together in a layout. That's unity. Everybody say unity.
Unity.
Very good. The next principle of design that we're going to talk about today is called rhythm. Everybody pat your legs like this. Okay. That's rhythm. No, I'm kidding. That's not rhythm. Rhythm has to do with motion, okay, or eye flow, or the general flow of a layout. So what we need to do is kind of take a look at, let's take a look at, let's look at American Sniper. What's the first thing you notice on this ad? The flag, and you probably started right here, is that correct? Okay, and then what did you do? Whoop, to the title, and then you saw the couple down here, yes? Okay, that's done on purpose. It's calculated by the art director and the layout artist to make sure that you can see everything in the layout. They're directing your eye. They're kind of leading it on a little bit of a walk through the layout. And that's rhythm. Okay, another use of rhythm would be like a repetition of things. For instance, if you look at this Furious poster here, can you see the repetition of the treads on the tire? Okay? Everybody looks at that and there's a beat, right? A rhythm. Okay. Same with the windows on the buildings here. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to talk about the last principle of design, the fifth principle of design, which is called proportion. Everybody say proportion. Okay. Now, proportion has to do with the size of things. Proportion states that the biggest thing is the most important every time. Okay? So if you take a look at the movie poster for Catching Fire, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, what's most important? Katniss. Now, have you seen the movie? Would you agree that she's most important? Yeah, everything hinges on what she does. It's crazy. Okay? Now, let's take a look at... Yes, let's take a look at American Sniper poster here. What's the biggest thing in that picture? The flag. Flag is way bigger than anybody else. Okay? Why does this guy do what he does? For America. America. Right? Get it done. Okay? It's really cool to use the principles of design to tell a story, to talk about what's about to happen in a movie that you're going to go see. So when you go to a movie theater and you're looking at the posters, you can look at the poster and say, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy. We've got a team of people here that look like they're ready for some action, right? And their job, knowing the title of the movie, is to take care of the good people in the galaxy and ward off any badness. Yes? Would you agree with that? Okay, so using contrast, we can tell that because they're highlighted in light colors that they're the good guys. Okay? Using proportion, we can probably tell that this is the main character. I'm going out on a limb here because I've not seen this. So this is real live interpretation of the poster here. Okay? We can also learn that the evil side has a lot of resources. Okay? But somehow, I don't know how this happens, but good always prevails. Cool? Okay? So we use proportion, we use the rhythm, right, to see that there's a rhythm with the evil there, all kinds of things that happen. So you can now interpret a poster based on the principles of design. Does that sound reasonable? Yes? Okay, so the 5 principles of design are, let me say them for you: balance, contrast, unity, rhythm, proportion. Now say them all with me. Ready? Go. Balance, contrast, unity, rhythm, proportion. Okay. Do you feel like experts in the principles of design now? Very good. Give yourselves a big hand.